like me, you woke up this weekend to a whole plethora of people talking about the mint for the Otherside, and you were scratching your head going, what has happened? What did I miss? What's been going on? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what happened with the Yuga Labs mint for the Otherside Metaverse, which is one of the biggest metaverse drops that we can expect in NFT and metaverse history to date, and one of the most expensive gas wars that actually kicked off as well. So whether or not you were able to get in or you weren't, there was a lot of divide going on in the community. So let's deep dive and see what it's all about. Okay, so let's start with the mint here, and it starts a few weeks back where this caused a little bit of disruption in the space where everyone was asked to do something called a KYC, which to some extent is doxing yourself and giving an official introduction as to who you are. So you fill out this application, which was brought to you by Yuga Labs and Animoca brands, who they've been teaming up with for the Otherside Meta. And then once your application has been approved, essentially what that would mean is that you can then pre-register your wallet closer to the time of mint to make sure that you are able to mint. And it was only KYC'd wallets that were able to mint on this particular metaverse drop that's happening from Yuga Labs. So not only was it that, but it was also the fact that you needed 305 ape coins for every piece of land that you wanted to buy, and you're able to buy, if you've got a KYC wallet, for each 305 ape coins you're able to buy up to 2 pieces of land per wallet. So that's kind of how the structure worked, which kind of makes sense. And then also, if you owned Bored Ape Yacht Club, or if you owned Mutant Ape Yacht Club, you then, without having to take part in this particular mint, you get a deed, an other deed anyway. So you can claim this 21 days after the sale ends, which means you don't have to worry about gas or anything like that. Now, I am a mutant holder, and I haven't yet claimed my land because, again, I'm waiting for those gas fees to go down. They're not astronomical at the moment, but again, I'm just waiting because there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on about this mint, and I just want to make sure that everything and the dust settles before I kind of get my one. So yeah, but essentially what that means is the claim that we'll be able to have as both Bored Ape Yacht Club and also Mutant Ape holders is the Bored Ape Yacht Club, if you look at the map, is going to be right in the middle of the world, and then just outside it is Mutant Ape Yacht Club, and then everything else around it is what everyone else is minting. So if you're looking at prime real estate, if you are a holder of one of these NFTs like I am, then you are lucky enough to get those real premium lands. Now, here's where the things start getting a little bit interesting. So Otherside Meta, which is the official account for this particular NFT, obviously we assume run by Yuga Labs, have towards kind of the last minute, so the day before the mint, they said that Dutch auctions are actually bullshit. So other deeds will be sold for the flat price of 305 ape coins. So they said they're not going to go down that traditional approach. Now, the Dutch auction works really well because for big hype projects like this is, and I say hype in a more positive form than just like a HAPE project, but for big projects that got big expectations like this, it brings down the price incrementally, allowing more people to kind of get in at the right time, or if they want to pay more, they can. And it's kind of, it makes a bit more of a fairer distribution. But they decided against this and went for a traditional wallet minting process, which you get 2 potential opportunities to mint per wallet. You're gonna run the gauntlet of gas fees because of this, but there were other options to optimize gas, which is, I'll come on to that when we look at the real problems of this. But looking at this afterwards is that what happens once this happens is that once the mint sells out, the reveal for all of the land, so it's essentially a blind mint, you're not going to see what you're going to get. The reveal happened about 24 hours after the original mint date, and after it's all sold out. So that's just giving you the bare bones of what has actually happened in terms of the process and the mechanism in order for you to mint on this particular day. Now, here's where the problem lies, is a lot of people sold their NFTs from other projects in order to give them the liquidity that they needed to be able to get in on the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Yuga Labs, Mutant Ape Yacht Club ecosystem. If you have been priced out of any of those NFTs, Buying into ApeCoin seemed like a good way of starting to get into that space. And then buying a piece of their metaverse land seems that you can really secure yourself within this particular ecosystem. And, you know, there was plenty to go around. However, we can see from Farouk's thread that he's written here, the whole minting process kind of fell apart. And for a project like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, who actually pull off stellar mints, they seem to be the top in their game. They're almost infallible. When something does go wrong, boy, does it crash hard. So Farouk obviously did own his BAYCs and MAYCs, so he's got those claims anyway. He's got that land, but then he minted 2 other deeds last night as well in the gas war, and I'm going to come on to that in just a second. But I just want to kind of give some context to what everyone did in general. So people who had other NFTs flipped those from other projects to give them enough liquidity to get in on this particular NFT project and metaverse project. They then got into a gas war, which saw, this is so painful to see. A lot of people put aside maybe 0.25 ETH or 0.3 ETH, which is about, in the UK, £1,000, if not more, so maybe about $2,000 or just under that. You know, a substantial amount, thinking that gas was going to be high anyway because they're taking this particular route with it. However, despite Yuga Labs knowing that there were X amount of KYC'd wallets, which is the only way that you can mint, you had to be KYC'd. They claimed that there was unprecedented amounts of people minting, and it was far beyond their expectations. And what did this mean? Well, this meant that the gas wars just went in unbelievably. And this is just an article that's been written about it. But let me show you where the GWEI, which is the gas tracker, and the amount of gas went up to. Now, right now, as time of checking it, GWEI is at about 40. And this, at the time of minting, hit a high of nearly 8,122 GWEI. And that kind of equivalent is about 2.5 Ethereum. So that is the money you are burning just on gas fees beyond the 305 Ape, which is about £6,000, which I think for our friends across the pond, that's obviously about $7,000 or $8,000 to even get your deed anyway per piece of land, let alone all these gas fees. So as you can imagine, this is one of like the most kind of highest sort of gas wars that what I've certainly seen in a hell of a long time. And I think for one of the most anticipated projects out there, you would have thought they would have looked at this in different ways. There are obviously options to have optimized gas. It's resulted in a lot of people who have lost their transaction fees, and because they couldn't mint, and you know, obviously gas fees were high. So we're talking about thousands of dollars that people lost. And I'm going to give it to Yuga Labs. They said that they would refund those gas fees. However, in some respects, that's not really the point. People wanted to get in on the ecosystem. And if we look at, you know, previous interviews with the CEO of Yuga Labs, she talked about other things that they are doing to allow the people that haven't been able to get in on these first and secondary collections to really start getting into the ecosystem. So you can imagine what this has done to the community sentiment when they're fighting over these gas wars. I'll be honest, I didn't even try and mint. I didn't have the liquidity for it. And to be honest, it was at like 2 a.m. So the way this was set at 9 p.m. Eastern time, it was very US centric. So you had to be really dedicated to do this. This doesn't really open it up globally to anyone like in the APAC region or us in the UK. But it is what it is. You can't please everyone. However, here's where it gets even more problematic. It's the response about the mint from Yuga Labs. This is the issue that we see here, because they do take accountability to a small level, because they obviously offer to refund the mints for the failed transactions, etc., etc. They talk about the fact that it was unprecedented in size, despite the fact that they knew exactly how many KYC'd wallets were available. There is also the fact that they're kind of blaming Ethereum in a way. And we know that Vitalik, one of the founders of Ethereum, kind of hit back and went, well, you know, it's not really our fault. You know, you could have written certain things into your contract. You could have done other things. But the point is that they had the resource. they have the money and they have the knowledge on how to do a drop, either a raffle, a Dutch auction, a giveaway, anything like that would have made this a fairer distribution, but they chose not to. They went back to this kind of traditional route, and this is the outcome, is the problem for this. They had to turn off Ethereum for a while, and they say this point, and I think this is the bit that's really annoyed a lot of people. It's become abundantly clear that ApeCoin will need to migrate to its own chain in order to properly scale. So they really are passing the buck in this way. And unfortunately, what this means is the community sentiment has really gone down, and there's a lot of FUD about this project now. And it's one of those things that I think is showing huge problems within the community, which is a bigger problem, because you're getting people who have made a lot of money through owning a BAYC or an MAYC going, why are you so worried about losing 2.5 ETH in gas? Look at what the ecosystem has given back to you. And then you've got people who are going, well, actually, I just wanted to really be a part of this because we know how great Yuga Labs is, we know how great the BAYC is, but we couldn't even get a look in. And that's the big divide that's happening at the moment. And you've got this real distaste within the ape community where it feels like the rich are getting slightly richer and the poor, or the people who can't quite get in, still can't get through the door, which is a massive, massive shame. Anyway, that's the problems. I've set the scene, I've given you the problems. I'm now going to look at the opportunity, because all is not lost. Oh, hello, you've just caught me on another NFT break. Well, whilst I've got you here, I just wanted to let you know that we're really pleased to say that we've partnered with the Tezos ecosystem for this video. Tezos is the blockchain that you can build, play, and collect on, and its ecosystem is home to developers, creators, and innovators from all around the world. It's also super environmentally friendly, with an average energy footprint of just 17 global citizens. Now, knowing that, along with low gas fees and sustainability through innovation, you can rest assured that this is a green, clean blockchain. And don't just take my word for it. Some of the world's biggest brands are building their futures on Tezos, including Ubisoft, the New York Mets, Red Bull Racing, McLaren F1, and even Manchester United. So a huge thanks to the Tezos ecosystem for partnering with us on this video. And if you want to find out more about the Tezos blockchain, then make sure you check out all of the links in our description box below. But for now, let's get back to business. Now, the first thing I want to say is that this is not financial advice in the slightest. It's just food for thought. And again, this is still playing around with quite a lot of money here. So only spend what you're willing to lose. But I want to have a look, show you the other side now, because it has been revealed. We have got a floor price which has been dipping ever since the reveal was made, which is positive and negative. I think this is what was always expected. The floor price was, when I first checked, was at about 8 ETH. It's now dropped halfway down to 4.1. And all of the different metaverse lands have been revealed within the other side. So you can check all of this out and you can see which ones are up for sale. Now, if you wanted to avoid all those gas fees, I mean, 2.5 ETH on gas fees, that's half the price of something that you pay for now. So you can look at it in a different way and look at the opportunity of maybe purchasing a piece of land on a secondary market. And actually, if you wanted to go in on this and make it even cheaper, maybe think about fractionalizing this with a group of friends so that you all get a piece of the land. Now, why is this important to do? Well, I think with something like Metaverse Land, you have so many opportunities because you can potentially build on this. This is a game. This has got traits in this particular Otherside land, which will give you over time opportunities for it to be more valuable. It will have the opportunity to grow and evolve, which means that any piece of land that you might have, and we don't know this yet, it's a bit like the Cool Pets game, will evolve and change the more it gets used. So there's a lot that you can do here, and obviously they've been giving us lots more information, and you can see this on the Otherside website about what to expect from here. There are coders, which some people have appeared on some people's lands already, which almost already makes them more valuable. And then there's other bits and bobs that really make this something that I think a lot of people are really excited about. So I'm not saying that the BAYC ecosystem has kind of gone down completely, and I think it will survive this initial problem that it's gone through, but it's a shame, I think, in the first instance that we're going through this at this stage. But the next thing I want to say very quickly to you is ApeCoin has dipped. We expected a big crash on this. because it was pumping almost to £20 just before the mint, and then suddenly we expected it to drop. So now is a great time to buy into Apecoin. Apecoin is being accepted in so many different places now, and it is really proving itself above Mana, above Sand, to be one of those cryptocurrencies that are really taking the crypto space by storm. And I think this has got a lot of legs, and I think £12.87 is a great place to buy into on this. And then finally, the last opportunity that I want to talk about is the fact that you can buy into the Bored Ape Yacht Club and the Mutant Ape Yacht Club, again, at a more affordable price. And I say this with a massive caveat because it is still at a floor of 26.9 Ethereum, which is not to be sniffed at. But again, if you're thinking about fractionalizing, or if you're thinking that you've got enough liquidity to come in on this, bear in mind, just prior to the mint, it was at 40 Ethereum. Okay, so a lot of people dumped their apes because they wanted to get the access to claim the land, and then they've dumped it, etc., etc. But this is what happens. It comes in waves, and this will happen again. This will pump again. So if you want to kind of get in and you have got that liquidity, this is a good opportunity for you. So I hope that gives you some clarity, and I hope that gives you some opportunities as well. Well, there you have it. I do think that after all the initial hype and FUD passes, that Yuga Lab will come back even bigger, better and stronger, and hopefully the community will settle as a result of it as well. Now, if you found that this moving and shaking in the NFT space caught your attention and you're wanting to learn even more about NFTs, then check out videos like these. These will really help you on your NFT journey, whether you're a beginner or an even more established person within the space. So I hope you enjoy them, I hope you get lots out of it, and I'll see you soon.